File designation X-13-Echo void. Classification elevated. Subject anomalous signal acquisition during Project Echo Void communications experiment. Date range redacted. Location also redacted, which is always a promising start. Let me guess. The first page says this signal cannot exist, and the second page proves it exists anyway?
That's remarkably accurate. Have you been reading ahead?
No, I've just read enough of these files. What's the official description? Project Echo Void was a long-range communications research program. The goal was to test signal propagation through nothing, empty space. Theoretical transmission corridors that standard physics suggests shouldn't work. So they were trying to communicate through a void.
Exactly. And according to this document, they succeeded. They established a transmission link. The problem is what they heard coming back.
Let me guess. It wasn't their own echo.
No, it wasn't.
What was it?
The document describes it as anomalous structured signal content exhibiting non-random characteristics consistent with information-bearing transmission.
That's a lot of words to say somebody else was already on that frequency.
That's precisely what I thought, but the document goes on to note that the signal was analyzed by 3 independent departments. All 3 concluded that the signal originated from a source that could not be identified using any known transmission parameters.
Meaning what exactly?
Meaning the signal was real. They could detect it. They could record it. They could measure its characteristics, but they could not determine where it came from, how it was transmitted, or what physical medium carried it.
So it was a signal from nowhere.
It was a signal from somewhere, but that somewhere was not a location they could identify.
Sigh. Okay, that's actually unsettling. What did they do next?
They classified it, filed it under miscellaneous, and moved on to other projects.
They classified a signal from an unknown source and filed it under miscellaneous? That's like finding a door in the middle of an empty room and deciding to paint over it instead of opening it.
The document notes that the decision was made to avoid
There's more.
Of course there is.
3 years after the experiment was decommissioned, a junior technician was performing routine equipment maintenance in the original facility. The equipment was supposed to be offline. It wasn't. The signal was still there.
For 3 years?
For 3 years. The system had been recording continuously.
When the technician checked the logs, the signal had never stopped. It had been transmitting for 36 months without interruption. The document notes that the technician reported an unusual sensation of being observed during the maintenance procedure.
Ooh, that's good. That's really good. So they turned off the experiment, but whatever they had opened stayed open. That is one interpretation. The official interpretation was that the equipment had developed a fault and was recording internal system noise.
Of course it was. Internal system noise. For 3 years with structured content and non-random characteristics. Just the usual faulty equipment behavior.
I believe the official term was anomalous power fluctuation artifact.
That's beautiful. That's genuinely beautiful. They created a whole new category of technical term just to avoid saying, we don't know what this is.
That is essentially the entire history of classified research in one sentence.
Okay. What's the file's conclusion? Do they recommend reopening the experiment? Further investigation? Adrian? The file's final recommendation is, and I quote, "No further action recommended. Equipment decommissioned. Facility sealed. All personnel reassigned to unrelated projects." So they sealed it. They sealed it.
And they wrote that down in a classified file that someone else would eventually find and read?
That is the fascinating thing about classified archives. The people who create them assume nobody will ever read them, so they write down exactly what they did with remarkable honesty.
Dry. Including the part where they listened to a signal from an unknown source for 3 years and then decided to pretend it never happened.
Including that part, yes.
Do we have the recording?
We do.
You're serious.
The file includes a reference to an audio storage medium. The recording was preserved. It's cataloged as Exhibit X-13 Echo Void.A.
Can we listen to it?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that.
Why?
Because I already listened to it. Yesterday, alone, in this archive, at approximately 11 p.m.
And?
A long pause. The signal is there. It's faint. It's buried under almost 3 years of continuous recording. But it's there, and it sounds like language. Not a language I recognize, not a language that matches any known linguistic database, but it has rhythm, it has structure, it has pauses, it has emphasis. It's talking.
Something is, or was, or still is. I don't know.
You know what this means, right?
That I should probably stop working alone in a classified archive at 11 p.m.?
No. Well, yes. But also that this file should not be filed under miscellaneous.
I've taken the liberty of reclassifying it.
To what?
Under review.
That's the most bureaucratic way possible to say, we have a problem and I don't know what to do about it.
I learned from the best.
We need to listen to that recording on the show for the audience.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Adrian, a signal from nowhere, recorded for 3 years, structured like language. Do you really want to be the person who files that under miscellaneous?
Adrian? No, I don't.
Then, let's play it.
Very well. But I'm filing a memo noting that this decision was made against my professional judgment.
I'll sign it as a witness. File it right next to the Echo Void documents, somewhere under M.
Dry for miscellaneous.
Mara for Mara.